Welcome to this week's episode of Unsettle Yourself. This week's topic is You're Not Who You Think You Are. Now, I'm not really in the business of telling people who they are or who they're not. However, in this case, the focus is really on think. So, not on who you actually are, but who you think you are. And the reason that I say that is because you are not your thoughts. So therefore, you are not who you think you actually are. So who are you instead? If you aren't your thoughts and your identity is tied around who you think you might be and maybe some titles that you give yourself, who are you really? So, from the brilliant Eckhart Tolle and his book A New Earth, he goes into this, and there are other books that you can read and you can go into as well and read about this. But we are consciousness observing our thoughts. And once you create that awareness, then you can really release all of these identity ties that you have with the titles or the boxes that you give yourself or that you allow others to put yourself in. So if I recognize myself as consciousness that's observing my thoughts, and what I'm thinking and my emotions and what I'm feeling, then I understand that I'm not those things, that I don't have to identify specifically with those things. So then the question becomes, is that enough? Is it enough to be consciousness and that's it, and identify solely as that, and understand that all of the other parts of it are really my ego talking and my ego trying to give me titles and give me identities that make sense for other people or that make me feel better about who I am. So, this is something I've been working on and I've been letting go and releasing a lot of over the last few years, which is the identities that I've given myself. So, although I might give myself a title, for instance, self worth and confidence advisor, it is not something that I hold tight as my identity. If that goes away, who I am as a person, who I am as an individual, who I am in this collective consciousness does not go away. My value and my worth is not eliminated as a result of losing or getting rid of that title or any other title. And I want you to understand that as well and see if that's something that you may need to work past for yourself. If there are any titles in particular, or any roles, or any identities that you've taken on that you just cling to and hold on to as your value and your worth. And can you see that being consciousness, observing your thoughts and your emotions, is actually enough? It's enough to just be that and to be valued and to be worthy. So think about, like I said, the identities that you've held on to and that you're holding on to, that if those went away, how would you feel? Would you still associate your worth with those titles if they are gone? And I'm not going to strip you of those, and I'm not going to take those away from you ever. I just want you to see if there's a difference between holding on to it and what that feels like, and letting go of it and what that feels like. So, one more reminder is that, like I said, you are not who you think you are. So, really understanding who you are at your core and who you are inside is the most important thing, because if you were all of the things that you thought about and all of the things that you felt, you would probably be a psychopath and you would have split personalities, because we think so many thoughts, and if we cling to all of them and we identify with every single thought, we are literally everything, and that's a whole lot to take in. So really think about that concept too. If you're not willing to dig deep into whether or not you're willing to release any identities and who you are around that. If you need help with this, there is something that I have in one of my workbooks, Own Your Shit and Stop Settling. It's a free workbook. You just sign up for my email list and you get it. And one of them is actually rewriting your story and understanding which roles you have clung to, which identities that you hold on to that actually don't serve you anymore, that you can update, So it's not even about just releasing all identities, that you can actually update them. So if you're interested in that, please download the free workbook, and you can work on that. It's one of the 3 steps inside of it, and I loved that one. That was one of my favorites to actually work on. So go ahead and download that. There's the link either in my bio or in the description below.